listeners. And of course, if you happen to be here for the very first time, welcome. Before I go any further, my name is Rahul George, India's premier eye hypnosis life healer coach and your personal guide. And of course, for those of you who've been tuning in to our iHypnosis life coaching journeys, the pod that is curated for you, especially for you healers and coaches out there, we have made it a point to bring some truly amazing guests on our show on the pod. And today, I know you will be very, very deeply uh, you will connect and you will be really moved by our guest and her story. So before I go into more of an introduction, this is of course your cue, Neha. You can go ahead and turn on your camera, and it's really a pleasure to have you here. We make it a point to sometimes, like we did in the off mic conversation, which was, I think, was it yesterday? Time sometimes just it's like a day
Yeah.
feels like forever. We make it a point to to hear your story live, and so along with you, listeners and watchers, I get to travel on Neha's journey. But before we get into any of that, let me first welcome you, Neha. It's really good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's pleasure. It's pleasure to be on your podcast.
Awesome. So, when let's sort of dive into our pod today, and maybe we'll start at the beginning. I'm sure there are people who are watching you who know you from before, maybe from different, let's say different spaces and places. But for those who are, maybe getting to know you for the very first time, maybe we'll start with this question, which is, let's say someone asks you, so Neha, what do you do?
So I empower women and job seekers who
Hmm.
have a career gap or who has been laid off, and I help them work on their confidence. I
Hmm.
work with them to get their dream chill freedom. So I help them. I'm a career revival coach.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's what I do.
A career reliable coach, right? That's what you say.
Revival.
Revival.
So we
I love that. A
reviving the
career.
careers for those.
Yes, I love that. I love that. A career revival coach. So, I'm very, very, very tempted to actually go into the story of what exactly do you do as a career revival coach. But before we get to that, I think it's so important, especially, when people hear you speak the way that you're speaking, it's not something that happened overnight. I'm sure you've had your journey of, getting here. There have been many twists, turns, and lots of things that happened in your life that have shaped you into being who you are today. And when you say, you say who you are, that's your identity that you're sharing with the world. But I know for a fact that, it takes a lot to build an identity, and especially when you speak the way you do. I'm sure there's a story behind it. So, uh, would you like to take us back in time? Like, how did all of this come together? Like, what's your story?
Sure, Rahul. So I come from a very humble and a
Mm-hmm.
very disciplined kind of family, and I
Mm-hmm.
was always a very studious student, a very sincere one, and so I studied really hard. And after completing my company secretary course, so
Mm.
I went to do law, and I still feel proud of that. So that time my life was beginning, and as other people also do, I started my corporate world. I
Mm.
started my job, and everything was going so right. Very stable job
Mm.
and good salary, then married, then also was balancing both work and home, and everything was
Mm.
going good.
Mm.
But then back in time, COVID hit, right?
Mm.
And the world actually stopped.
Mm.
And you already know this, right? And for me also, something also stopped for me too. Like I lost two people from my life,
Wow.
all of a sudden, my
Mm,
in-laws, and they were actually a big support system. Not only support system, I really liked them. They were like my uh, what do you call, my left and right hands.
mm,
And losing them actually broke me from within.
mm,
Maybe many people can relate to this, because many people lose their parents in the same situation, right? And they were my support system. They were something I rely on them. They were my cheerleaders. And I entered into very dark phase, 1 whole year. I like
mm.
it just happened. I was not I was not living. I was just like, what do you call, I was there, my body was there, but
Right.
I was not doing. There was no energy of doing anything. I don't know how I ordered the groceries, and how I still recall all that time.
Mm,
All 1 year went into like vain. So people were making
mm,
food, or maybe enjoying so many things, but I was in a different phase. And then after an year, time is a healer, right? And I started applying for jobs again, because then people said, no, my husband also said, you should apply for the job, you should go get yourself engaged, engrossed in something. Okay, so go and do that. And when I was applying for so many jobs, but I was not getting the right kind of response. In fact, no response.
mm,
Okay, so all rejections. I was applying, and there was so
mm,
silent, nothing. And then I was blaming the job industry ki covid ho gaya, and that's why I'm not
mm,
getting the response. Or I was also
mm,
blaming myself.
mm,
I was blaming that there's something wrong with me. I am not that capable. I don't know how to do that. I was feeling like I have got what do you call, junked, because 1 year
mm,
I was not working anywhere. So maybe the recruiters and the hiring managers are thinking that I don't know the laws, I don't know the amendments, and maybe I'm not the right fit. In fact, my peers, when I was reaching out to them, networking, and I was asking them, I am now looking for job, and they were
mm,
saying that, Neha, you need to start from scratch. And that
mm,
was the words still hit me somewhere in my mind today as well. Like, the world was moving, but people were saying you need to start from scratch. That happened. Then there was one another incident. My some professionals were I was talking to them, and they were saying that
mm. Okay, Neha will be back with us
my
briefly.
juniors in my
Yes.
corporate world, and they were
Mm,
like, so it was horrible, and it was horrible.
mm,
So that was actually the rock bottom for me. Like I have to start from something new. So I said, nobody's hiring me, let me hire myself.
mm,
So without wasting time, I started something new. I started legal recruitment. I had the CS and the law background, and I thought, yeah,
right.
I should start doing legal recruitment. So I started this, and
Mm,
I did
mm,
this for roughly 2 years, and I helped
mm,
lawyers, CS professionals get placed, and money was coming. Money was coming, not that good, but it was coming.
mm,
But I was not actually very much satisfied. There was something still empty from inside. Maybe I was missing my corporate life.
right.
Maybe I was I was thinking that I should go every day out,
Mm,
get up, that girly stuff that I wanted to go out, meet new people. I'm that kind of a
mm,
person. I'm like
mm,
extrovert. I can talk unlimited. And And I was like, no, 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 I have to go out. And that was something again, feeling empty, not my true
Mm.
calling. Then what to do now? And people start, society pressure, or society, what do you call, society's noises start
Right.
coming, that
Right.
now you have tried recruitment and now you want to do something else. Oh my god. Then
Mm.
something magical happened. I met my mentor, Siddharth Rajshekhar,
Mm.
and I attended his webinar and went into his community. And then slowly and steadily, I met many other people like Pooja Puneet. I met Jack Canfield,
Mm.
and I started reading a lot of books. All that thing transformed. If I see that Neha and now I see this Neha, there is a huge difference.
Wow.
There is a huge transformation.
Mm.
I started reading. I was reading a lot of books, but he says is a very right thing,
Mm.
that systems succeed, humans fail.
Mm.
And I totally resonate with that, because if you are doing everything, there is a lot of personal gyan, there is a lot of personal development
Mm.
thing on YouTube as well.
Mm.
But if
Correct.
you are not in a world where you don't have the system, you don't
Mm.
have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 steps, then you
Mm.
don't know what to do. And
True.
you just end up being frustrated and
Mm.
anxious and depressed, and things like that. And
Mm.
when actually a mentor comes in your life, things changes. You start reading books, you start having a lot of habits,
Mm.
you wake up early, you meditate, you start writing, scribbling on the paper, writing
Mm.
goals, and slowly, I started healing. you know and I understood that if I really want to have a new life around
Mm.
me, first thing is that I have to surround myself with 5 positive people, as Jim Rohn says that, right?
Mm.
So
Mm.
and
Mm. Right. Oops. Okay, so let me. Ah, there we go. Yeah, we lost you there for a second. So you were
Yeah, I
saying,
don't know whose internet got
no
actually.
ones.
No problem. So where was I?
You're talking
Okay.
about taking inspired action. That's the last piece that I heard, and then
Yeah,
it sort of dropped
so
off.
you need to take inspired action, as Jack Canfield rightly says that. So I decided that I will change this inner game, and
Mm.
now if I say about my identity, I am a career revival coach. I am no longer a CS or a recruiter, and I am truly, because I have found my purpose, my true calling for the thing that this true purpose I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I am quite sure, I am 100 200% sure, and I will be helping, and that is what my value system is. I just
Mm.
love to help. So I want to help the women, the job seekers, especially women, when they are in their career, they find what their true calling is, and then
Mm.
they build their
Mm.
confidence, and then they have that financial freedom. They get the right kind of jobs. And not only that, but if you have a right kind of job with you, not only that, you are from rising from a clarity point of view,
mm,
right? And because I have faced myself the same kind of pain, I don't want others to have the same pain in their life.
mm. Beautiful. So let me ask you a slightly different question. Uh,
Hmm.
Especially since you feel you're at that point where you know your purpose and your purpose is driving you. If you go back in time, like further back in time, right? Maybe in your teens or maybe even before, right? Do you notice like the earliest signs that this is what you would be doing, as you said, for the rest of your life?
No, never ever thought of this. And have you heard Stranger's Secret?
Yes, of course.
So while I was first time I was hearing that, it was actually bulb on for me.
Mm.
And many people, Rahul, they
Mm-hmm.
go to office and
Mm.
they come back, and I have seen my parents, my grandparents
Mm.
doing all of this routine and everything. When
Mm.
when you align yourself with your higher purpose,
Mm.
then you are something else. You are something else.
Mm. Right. So,
So I just aligned it. I've read this book, Value Factor, from John DeMartini. Talks
mm.
about values.
Mm. Mm.
So when my mentor was talking about his values, I was
Mm.
curious to know what are my values.
Mm.
What are
Mm.
my values?
Mm.
So while I was just copying pasting him, my values should be the same. But one day I met another coach friend, and
Mm.
she was talking about, Neha, have you taken that test of John DeMartini? So I
Mm.
said, no, I am not. So what do you call your values to? So I said,
Mm.
setbacks. So then I took the test, and I was surprised to know actually those were only my values.
Mm.
But earlier there was no clarity. I was just copy pasting.
Mm.
So now
Right.
I believe that everything has something in the root. There is something, the root thing.
Mm.
So if you know that root thing, then you are good to go. I mean, then you have much clarity in your life.
Mm. Mm. Right. So I'll ask you one more time, but from a different angle, because I really believe that they've been the earliest signs. It's just that a lot of times we missed seeing them. So do you recall now, maybe maybe in school or maybe college or even maybe much earlier, any sort of indications of, because like you said, you love helping people and it drives you now. Did you, I know, as you said, you had the
Yeah. So
CS path and being the lawyer, and it sort of like life took its, it took you on a journey, shall we say. But if you go further back in time, did you see any sort of like signs that you didn't maybe recognize it, but that this is what you would be doing, helping people?
okay, so serving people has been rooted in my ground level
Hmm.
only, because I've
Hmm.
seen my grandparents and my parents helping a lot. So that
Right.
is inside me. That is
Hmm.
inside me,
Hmm.
in my with my soul. Number two thing is that I love teaching. So
Hmm.
my friends, my like when you talk about my, when you're saying that about my school,
Hmm.
so when I was in a school, I was teaching a lot to my friends also. Okay, you don't get this question, I will teach you.
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
way I used to teach, like mind maps, now I was teaching the same thing
Wow.
on paper, like this,
Right.
making that
Right.
bars and things
Yeah.
like that, to make
Yeah.
understanding, to give the context, to make it simpler. So I was
Hmm.
doing that earlier, but I did not I mean, connected that this is.
Hmm.
So when I did
Hmm.
CS, it was because somebody suggested to my mom, your girl is
Hmm.
very good in theory. Good.
Hmm.
She's not in good in accounts. Let's make her journey towards CS. So that's
Hmm.
good for her.
Right. Awesome. So let me check in with you. So like you've taken us from the present to the past and your life story that brought you, to this point. And let's say, if someone asks you like, so what kind of work do you do today? Like, how do you help people, right? So Neha, what's
So
that?
so I work on systems,
Mm,
right? I
mm,
What I do is I first of all help them bring a career clarity.
mm,
That's the number one thing.
mm,
And that is a big pain point for my audience, or for the people, for the mid-level professionals, and
mm,
even those who have a career gap now. So
mm,
when I talk with them, that is the biggest pain point they have, that okay, Neha, we don't know whether we are on a right track or not, whether
mm,
we are, because maybe that is a point that they somebody suggested them this career and they are on that track, or maybe they don't like that, they don't like
mm,
doing. So maybe the person is very, for example, a person is very introvert, but he or she is
mm,
into sales. Can you see
mm,
a fit there? There's no fit. And if there's
mm.
no fit, they won't be progressing in their career,
Right.
and they will be likely facing frustration, anxiety,
Mm,
depression, all that stuff. And
mm,
then they will not be growing. So all other areas will also be impacted, like health, like wealth,
mm,
like happiness, like other areas, right?
mm,
Family.
mm,
So first of all, I give them a career clarity, and
mm,
I have tools for that, where I
mm,
give them career clarity. Even
mm,
I was doing one to one recently, and this person was like in his 50s.
mm,
And can you imagine, Rahul? He's well established
mm.
director, and he said that, Neha, I don't have right kind of clarity
Oh.
in my life.
Mm,
So, this is something bigger pain point. So I'm working on that. Number two, I'm working on that is uh, like, okay, now you got the clarity on what to do,
mm,
right?
mm,
Maybe something connected to your hobby, something connected to
mm,
your passion, or maybe your earlier career, whatever. So you now have connected the dots. Now when you go ahead and you don't know how to do the job search, you are just mass applying. So I work on their
mm,
job search strategies, right?
mm.
Then I
Right.
work on their resume, because resume, resume, everyone, what everyone does, like,
Mm,
yeah, can you give me your resume? I just copy paste my content and
right.
just
Yeah.
send it
Yeah.
there. And there
Mm,
is a process. And when I became a coach, I was like, wow, there is a process, there is a thing. So there are a kind of resumes, you know.
mm, mm,
If you are in design UI UX profession, then you have a different kind of resume.
mm,
There are steps, there are ATS. So word is moving so fast, and you are still on career objective,
mm,
you know things like that.
mm,
So
mm.
I have worked on resume. So resume creation is another thing
Right.
that I work on.
Mm,
Then LinkedIn brand.
mm,
People don't know
mm,
that there is a brand. You have
mm,
to work on your brand, you know. Well, Jeff Bezos says that when you are not in the room, if
mm.
somebody talks about you, that is the brand, that is you.
True.
So people are not posting on LinkedIn that their shop is closed.
Mm,
And like recruiters and hiring managers, they want to see you, what kind of expertise
mm.
you have, what
Yeah.
kind of work you have done, how you have
Mm,
impacted the businesses. Nobody's
mm,
concerned about your KRAs. Nobody is
mm,
concerned if you go to office, what do you do. They are
mm,
concerned about how you're impacting their business, how you have come on their outcomes. Maybe you
mm,
have decreased the cost, maybe you have
mm,
increased their revenue in some or other way. But if
mm,
you have not written it on your resume and stuff like that, then no
mm.
point. No
Right.
point. You're not going to stand out. You are
Mm,
going to stay same as others,
Mm.
and then
Mm.
yeah, you are going to get that mediocre salary as others. So
Right.
if you want to stand out, then you have to work hard.
Mm.
So this is another thing I work on the branding part.
Mm.
Then after branding, I work on their mindset also,
Mm.
because the one who have got the career gap, or the one who have been laid off, trust me, their the mindset has gone deep.
Mm.
Like they are facing self doubt, like
Mm.
I used to doubt on myself. Or I and Jack can feel rightly says that it's not about the market,
Mm.
it's not about the job market, it's not about you as well. it's about it's about you, right? It's about you. So work on yourself first. So I work on their confidence level, I work on their not only confidence but also help them mock interview, so stuff like that. um, are you there? Okay. So I after that I work on their I come on their live workshops, I give them workshops, I work on help them on AI. So AI is running very fast, so we have to run along with it, right? Otherwise we are just lagging behind. So yeah, Rahul,
Yep.
are you there?
One of those days. Technology. The flip side of doing all of this from a home office is sometimes technology can kind of throw us off for a second. But I'm back. So,
Yeah.
as you were saying.
So yeah, I was saying that I work on their identity as well.
Mm.
So
Mm.
they get that hit on their confidence a lot. So I work on their mindset too.
Mm. So, as I was listening to you, it occurred to me that maybe 5 years ago, did you think you'd be doing this work?
No, I was
No,
not.
right? Like it wasn't, there's nowhere on the map was this, okay, future Neha is going to be doing this, right? Going to be talking through the eyes of a coach and talking about mindset and identity and, working on the mind, apart from obviously the technical aspect.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I'm curious to know, when did you have that penny drop moment when you were like, this is what I'm meant to be? Like, walk us through that point in time where this thing just clicked in your mind.
So it happened that I met this my mentor,
Mm.
and I'm quite grateful for that.
Mhm.
But when it happened, and I was going through all the sessions with him, and the whole transformation was being done at the back end, I was not knowing that. But when I
Mm.
was listening to him one day when he was talking about
Mm.
this strangest secret is one thing that actually
Mm.
happened to heal me
Mm.
from within.
Mm.
And that was that moment, I think. Yeah,
Wow.
things got changed for me.
Wow. Walk us through that. Like, what
Because
happened in that moment? Yeah.
so I was every day I was listening to the same audio.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm.
And every day it was a new revelation for me.
Mm.
Yeah. So it happened that while I was so earlier, my mindset was like, if there is anything going on in my life, in my even my in my family, I used to get frustrated,
Mm.
like so much frustrated. Every time I used to show my anger outside.
Mm. Mm.
While the transformation happened, you know what, there is a solution oriented mindset. There is
Mm.
not a, a fighting mode, there is a victor mode. Always there is no
Mm.
victim mode. So that happened actually when things when my healing happened after
Mm.
after meeting a lot of mentors, not only Siddharth but also
Mm.
personal development coaches as well, because he's a digital coach, right?
Right.
So while I was so curious to listen to Puja Puneet as well,
Mm.
so she is like, I used to just inspire from her,
Mm.
from how she talks, how she does her lives, how people are just craving to get answers from her. And
Mm.
I was like, yeah. So back then, I feel like if I go back to my
Mm.
very old childhood, when I was a very small young girl,
Mm.
and that time people used to come to your home, and there was no malls or something, right?
Mm.
Our outing was like, people used to come, our relatives used
Mm.
to come and used to chit
Mm.
chat. Okay, Neha, what do you want to become?
Mm.
And I used to say, I want to become famous. I still
Mm.
remember this. I
Mm.
still remember this. So I want to become famous. Now I feel like I should make a book on my thing, my story,
Mm.
because that time maybe a universe was listening to my what I was saying, or what I was thinking. And when you
Mm.
read this book Secret, your thoughts become your
Mm.
track your thoughts. So
Yeah.
that's how.
Yeah.
So when you say that, yeah, I want to become famous. So
Mm.
when I am around these people, then I feel
Mm.
like, yeah, one day I will also become famous. And goals are so big. Who
Mm.
knows?
Mm. True that. Beautiful. Um. So I'm again like it's amazing, like that's why we do this pod, because we get to meet, and I definitely get to meet amazing people from different walks of life, different backgrounds. And what I find fascinating is that, like, you chose to go a certain path. Let's say, when did you do your CS? Like, about how many years back was that?
2010.
10, right? So it's a good, like, 15 years now.
Yeah.
In those days, did
Yeah.
you sort of believe in things like, people talk about the universe or the secret or things like that? Was that part of your universe at that
No,
point?
no. Now I connect that,
Yeah, yeah,
that maybe that time, you used to say that on your tongue, the Saraswati Mata has come and sit, and we used to say this.
right.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe that time we used to uh, connect to the same thing, but
Mm,
differently, but
mm,
not universe, but maybe something different. I was
right.
very spiritual
Mm,
early, so Rahul. So
mm,
very spiritual.
mm,
I'm grounded for that. So I believe that universe is nothing but God, right?
right, right,
So universe is
right.
nothing but whom we pray every day, and
Correct.
affirmations are nothing but our arti, or what we
Mm,
recite
yeah,
every day.
beautiful. Yeah, that's a beautiful way
So
of connecting it back to
So you can
what
say
was.
that I didn't know universe or law of attraction or everything. I didn't know that,
Yeah,
but I know that there is some higher power.
right.
That's my
Mm,
Krishna. That time I used
mm,
to like pray a lot. My dadi and everyone was
mm,
so spiritual.
mm,
So now you can connect that all that recitations were affirmations,
right.
and all that you were praying and
Mm,
sitting for the meditation
mm,
part, right? So,
mm,
so
yeah,
journaling also was there, but not
right.
exactly. My dadi used to write Hare
Mm,
Krishna, Hare Ram on the book,
wow.
on the notebook.
Mm,
So maybe that was also kind of meditation, right?
mm,
Healing. That
mm,
every day you are writing, journaling the same
mm,
Krishna and prayers and
mm,
stuff like that.
mm. Amazing. So we'll now turn to a slightly different angle. Like, you did talk a little bit about how you work with your, especially when you work one on one. But
Yeah.
in your journey, are you at a point now where you have started to build your own community, or do you at this point see people primarily, like a case to case, one by one, basically a one to one way of working with people?
I work on I work on case to case nowadays,
Mm.
but I'm planning to do community model as well.
Mm.
Okay. While Rahul, what is happening is that I'm
Mm.
exploring community, but
Mm.
I start my
Mm.
starting point was community making only. But things happen that every case is different, right?
Right.
And people want to connect with you
Mm.
individually. They want to get the customized kind of solutions.
Right.
So while my the whole point is not to make money.
Mm.
Of course, in community you're going to earn better, but
Mm.
my sole purpose is serving.
Mm.
So I am just right now giving them a 3 month or a 90-day challenge kind of a thing where I work one to one with them.
Mm.
So I do that,
Mm. Mm. Got it.
where I work on their challenges,
Mm.
their particular problem areas,
Mm.
while the method remains the same, the systems remains the same,
Mm.
but their case is different. Their whole story is different,
Right.
and storytelling to your resume and into your brand, into your LinkedIn is very important.
Mm. Got it. And so today, Neha, when you're at this point,
Hmm.
what role has community played in your, from where you were to where you've reached today? Like, what have you seen community playing? Like, what kind of role has it played in your journey to get to this point?
Okay, so community in my healing
Mm.
is a blessing. Is a
Mm.
blessing. I connected with like-minded peoples.
Mm.
Your vibe attracts your tribe,
Mm.
and so the right kind of people are being attracted towards me. And
Mm.
number one, number two is
Mm.
accountability part. So when you are into community, you have partners with them,
Mm.
with you, in terms of they are accountable for your journey,
Mm.
and then the progress is much faster at a
Right.
very faster pace, right?
Mm.
So that's what community plays. And then when you see somebody progressing, and when you see their progress, that thing
Mm.
which is inculcated in our blood, that if you
Mm.
see somebody else progressing, you also crave to
Mm.
be on the same path, or maybe
Mm.
the same steps. So the trophy is there, everyone is chasing for the same, like
Mm.
more or less every coach or every healer has the same
Mm.
kind of motive, serving, and money is a byproduct for that.
Mm. Mm. So, important question. Uh, how does your family relate to your change of track at this
Yeah,
point?
my husband related to very very much, very deeper.
Mm.
So he says that, yeah, Neha, things have changed. So I
Mm.
remember when I was into deep depression after my career gap, and I was not getting the right kind of calls.
Mm.
So we were sitting in the on the couch, and I was saying, why am I there on this earth? I
Mm.
mean, I should be. So he was saying that let's go to psychologist, and you should we should approach, because your thoughts are not in the right shape.
Mm.
And now he says that now things are like you're self motivated. There
Mm.
is some north pole
Mm.
or the north star, so which is always motivating you.
Mm.
And not only self motivating, I am also giving a lot of gyan to my mom or people around me, and there is less of gossiping.
Mm.
I'm attracting the right kind of people. So
Mm.
I write on my notepad that,
Mm.
yeah, these are the kind of friends I used to have, whom I used to call and gossip all around and
Mm.
walk and everything. And now
Mm.
things have changed, that I've now started listening to my affirmations in my music and
Mm.
meditating and things. This give me a lot of satisfaction.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, Neha,
And I
as a
have seen
hmm?
that transformation as a magical thing for me.
Ah,
Not only for me, but
right,
also for them.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah. So, I was in fact about to ask you, Neha, as a contrast, and again, only as much as you feel comfortable sharing. Can you walk us through what was that like in that? period of, you said it was for about a year, right? Like, what was that like? Because it definitely sounds like you've turned a corner and you're now, operating from a place of strength. So, and the reason also why I'm asking this is because um, people who are watching this, they may being in that state of not knowing or being unsure. So, would you like to share a little bit about
See,
that point in
your
time?
voice is cracking, but are you asking that 1 year when I
Yeah,
was
I
in
think my
complete?
today.
Yeah, so you are asking that 1 year of when I was in complete depression, how was it? How was the feeling?
It's just one of those days.
Yeah. Okay. So,
Yes, but you got the question.
yeah, so let me tell you that the whole day I was the whole day I was there scrolling the reels, Instagram reels. Are you there?
Yes, thank you for bearing with
Yeah,
technology, just coming in and out and in and out.
yeah.
But as you were saying,
Okay. So I was telling you, Rahul, that whole year went like I was only scrolling the Instagram reels.
mm,
And this social media,
mm,
everyday scrolling and seeing others' life is a big FOMO
mm,
and a cheap dopamine too.
mm,
And you keep on scrolling, and every time my husband used to uninstall it on my phone and I used to install it back
mm,
because that was the biggest time pass for me.
mm,
And I was doing Netflix, and I world was moving and I was still
mm,
there watching nothing, doing nothing. So even I recall that how was I? I mean, how was I ordering the groceries? How was I playing the role in this family? What was
mm,
I doing? I don't
mm.
remember that. There was
Wow.
a big thing,
Mm,
but now I feel very different kind of my life, and I still want to stay here in this path for the rest of my life.
beautiful, beautiful. So, two questions, and I'm also being mindful of time and technology.
Yeah,
Let's,
yeah.
like, I want to get like the juice out of the story because there's something very, very important in what you experienced. I know you briefly talked about it, but could you share a little bit about the journey of mentors, like people who have been in your life, people who've come in at different points? What was that like for you? And also, how did that, shape your life or those journeys or those milestones along the way?
Okay. So while I will say that there is a lot of stuff on YouTube as well, right? On
Mm,
everything,
correct,
whatever we are reading through our
correct.
mentors or through our
Mm,
coaches. But then when they show up every week, you feel connected.
mm,
Trust me, Rahul, when I don't attend inner circle call with my mentor every week, I
mm,
feel something is missing.
mm,
Something is missing. Something bigger part is missing actually.
mm,
So the coaches play a very important role, not only in guiding us, but
Mm.
also updating our skills in
Mm.
terms of what is going around the world.
Mm.
Even not only in the coaching world, but also in AI, or
Mm.
how we should progress, how
Mm.
we should be aligned with our value system.
Right.
So coaches help a lot in
Mm.
they hand hold you.
Mm.
So hand holding is so important
Mm.
because again everything is available already.
Correct.
And if you go to chat GPT, you will get all the steps
Mm-hmm.
also.
Mm-hmm.
But the real coach is there, sitting and guiding you, is a different game
Mm.
altogether.
Mm.
And when the game is all inner, no robot or nobody, not even Google, can show you the right path.
Mm.
There is a person talking to you, and
Mm.
that's a positive person, not the one who is going to
Mm.
judge you, not the one who is going to talk negative about you or self doubt you or doubt you.
Mm.
So
Mm.
that is very important. The
Mm.
right coach never doubts you, actually
Right.
uplifts you from this place
Mm.
to this place.
Mm.
So coaches play a
Beautiful.
very important role.
Mm. So, are there any other coaches? You mentioned Siddharth. I think you also mentioned in passing Pooja being,
Yeah,
being on, seeing some of the work that she's done.
Ritu,
So,
Shruti.
mm,
So I have been mentored from them.
mm,
So what my other coach friend tells me, that Neha, actually you're around very much personal development coaches.
mm,
Yeah. So
mm,
your most of the time or the most of the energies are around personal development coaches
mm,
like Shruti or Ritu, Law of Attraction.
mm,
Then Pooja Puneet, again
mm,
life coach, right?
mm,
And then Siddharth, of course.
mm,
So around all that community, and
mm,
even the growing coaches also are very
right.
profound and very knowledgeable.
Mm,
uh, so I'm around
mm,
them too. So I'm around all good people. I'm in right
right.
safe hands.
Mm. Awesome. So, one last question for the moment, which is, so Neha, like, it's like the question of how can people find you. Of course we have your details, so they will be shared, but is there any particular program or something that you're in the process of creating, or that right now people can have access to, depending obviously on when they see this, but that's why the links are there. But is there something that you're
I
currently
have
working on?
I have recorded my pre-recorded courses is already there.
Mm,
Around 32 videos are there
mm,
on the step by step, all the career
mm,
revival mastery, what I
mm,
call that course too. And along with that, I will be giving live classes.
mm,
Even if somebody takes this course, I will
mm,
be helping them or
mm,
hand holding them just like my mentor hand holds me. I'll be holding them and telling them all the new techniques and the things which will help them in their
mm,
career.
mm,
So those will be the live classes, but then there are all the stuff which I talked about, the career clarity and
mm,
resume and LinkedIn optimization,
mm,
about confidence building, and about
mm,
um, everything. So whatever we have talked about, I have mentioned, I have given that job search strategies also into this
mm,
course.
mm. Nice. Awesome. So I heard this sometime back, and I want to ask you this question, which is there a question that you would have loved to have been asked? If so, what's that?
So if if there is a question which I love to being asked.
Like, I've asked you many other questions, but is there one like, oh yeah, I wish he had asked me that question, for which you'd love to, you know, fill in the blanks for us?
So maybe what is success? Maybe.
Tell us what is success.
So success is messy, and it's about taking action.
Mm, right, right. Amazing. I mean, it definitely sounds like you've taken a lot of action, having been on this journey for the last, what, 10, 15 years at least, and beyond, I'm sure. But especially in this arc of your life and what you're now starting to do more and more of. Definitely sounds like, as you said, your purpose found you. You found your purpose, and you can look into the future saying, yeah, I will be doing more of this.
Yeah,
So definitely a big, you know, the best of wishes for you in what you're intending to do. And of course, for people who are tuning in, people who've been listening to you all this while, I know that there's something about your message that has connected with them. And so that's the reason also why we ask for your links and to talk about your program, so people can reach out to you, can find you, can benefit from you, not just now, but even in time to come, right?
absolutely.
And they've had another opportunity to get to know you better. And
Yeah,
so, thank you for taking the time
thank
to share your life and your life story and to inspire people. Because, I'm sure you've seen this as well, being a coach, being a healer, it really is, it's like a blessing, right? And having said that, the journey has a lot of ups and downs. And so, when people get to hear your story, the intention is to inspire them, to remind them that, hey, stick around, keep showing up, keep doing the work. And, your, as they say, like your vibe attracts your tribe. So people will find you. So,
absolutely. Thank
firstly, a
you.
big thank you to you for your time and for sharing. And wish you all the best on this journey, Neha.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for inviting me. I am so happy. I had a great conversation with you, and it was so heart to heart. I can feel going back into my old times and talking about all that stuff. It
Yes.
was amazing. So,
Beautiful.
thank you for taking me back into my time and asking me those questions. It was great.
Amazing.
Great.
Right. And of course, for those of you who are watching, you know where to reach Neha now. So wish you all the best on your journey. And of course, as always, something that I like to remind you, which is to live your purpose. God bless. And of course, we will be back with more of these pods. So keep showing
Okay.
up. Really, it is about showing up and taking action. So before we wrap up, I'm just going to start to close our uh, streams. So give me a second, Neha.